Jon-Mark Patterson, the Reactionary Hippie, back again with a few more thoughts for you. Most important thought I have for today is to note that my son turned 2 today. I mean, you can hardly believe it. It's not the first time around for me, but each time is so humbling and amazing to see the new personality develop, a new real person who's going to be who he or she is no matter what. And all you can do as dad or mom is to hang in there and do your best, the best that you can. Give them some guidance, give them some love, push back when they need some pushback. Yeah, just make it work as best you can. So, happy birthday. My last videos have been maybe too long, maybe a little boring. So, of course, I'm going to talk about economics, because that bores the heck out of everybody. But bear with me, a little twist on it here. I don't mean macroeconomics where we talk about trade flows and gross national product and budget deficits and whatever, or not even so much modern microeconomics, which is a little more interesting, where we talk about how people choose amidst scarcity and all that interesting stuff there about people dealing with the world. I want to go way back. I'm not a great Greek scholar, but I've had a smattering of it. The word economics comes from oikonomos. The oikos in Greek was a household, the place where things got done. And nomos meant rule or law, so an oikonomos was someone who managed or ruled or handled the household, which was an honorable thing. So to me it's interesting that the root of economics, that dry, dismal science, comes from how we take care of ourselves in our own houses. So what do we think of our houses now? Sometimes I think we just think of our houses as places where we relax and watch TV and we're cut off from the world. We get in our cars and go to work. We get in our cars and go to the store. We get in our cars and go home, and then we lock the door and don't see our neighbors and stare at a screen. It's just a consumer good, right? We're just sitting at home waiting for passive stuff to come to us. We're going to fix the stuff that we bought in the store. We're going to watch the stuff that's on TV. We're going to worry about getting into our car and driving away and going to make more money the next day. So that's kind of a house of consumers, right? If we think of it that way, the house is just where we consume things, where we're sort of separated from the rest of life. House of consumers. Okay, I keep this handy. Band names. I think House of Consumers needs to be added. Okay. All right, that's done. Move on. Okay, what do I want to say? Don't necessarily think of your household as a house of consumers. Think of it maybe as that oikos of producers. When the Greeks talked about a household, they didn't talk about going home and watching TV or deciding when you're going to refinance your mortgage. They talked about where things got produced, where children got educated, where things got done, where you were recharged for public life and went out in the world again. Let's think of economics a little more like that. Economics as if people mattered. Economics as if we were producers and creators, not just passive consumers of things. So let's get beyond the house of consumers. Why is this on my mind? Well, COVID-19 has pushed everybody home. We sit here and look at screens. We watch our children who should be off at school or playing sports or playing in band or orchestra or acting in plays, staring at screens way too often. Temptation would be just to be passive consumers here at home. But we can't do that. When we're home, we have to think more about being producers again. If this world is going to throw us for a loop, then we have to be more self-sufficient, not less. We have to think, when I'm home, I'm not just relaxing, I'm not just consuming, I'm just waiting until I can go to work again and make more money and buy more things. No, I'm going to be a producer. Some of this is obvious. I mean, my wife is amazing at this. She has a natural instinct for it. I mean, I don't just go along. I get it too. I love it too. But she's brilliant at it. There's always a good project that she's working on. She's always learning how to make or build something else. I'm pretty good at it too. But together, living in our little urban house, it's a nice house, sorry, but we live in the middle of town. We've got chickens, we've got beautiful gardens. We're always trying to learn a new skill. There's always sauerkraut fermenting on the counter, or we're gathering eggs in the backyard. We're canning, we're preserving, we're learning new stuff. We're doing all those tangible things to say we're not going to be passive consumers. We're going to produce some of what we need. And it's humbling because we know we can't produce all that we need. But instead of thinking of eggs as something that you just get in the store, we gather them from these chickens we call by name. We know farmers who raise cattle and hogs, and we pick how they're going to be cut and butchered, and we take that meat and we put it in our freezer, and we match it to the vegetables we've grown in our garden or that we've preserved through canning, and we eat later in the year. We're just trying to be closer to actually producing things. It's not just about gardens and canning and preserving and chicken coops and craft projects. It's also thinking about what we produce in our families too. And I think, as much as I admire a lot of teachers, we cannot fundamentally ever delegate away the responsibility of producing families and producing children. We are fundamentally responsible for teaching our children about who they are, where they come from, what their society and country and culture are like, all the beautiful things that are available and illustrated in the world through art and music and drama and literature. Sometimes not beautiful things, but profound and important things they have to confront, slowly as little children and then more profoundly as they grow up. And they have to learn what works, what nature's like, what life is like, how things fit together, how things function. And they have to learn how things don't always function and how to wrestle with that and deal with it. And we can't delegate that to someone else. So I guess what I'm saying is, if you're stuck at home, think about being a producer. Think about producing the things you eat. Think about producing art and beauty. Think about producing an education for your children and your family. And don't think that's just something for kids. I've got something to learn every day. We all do. Make your home a place where you produce. That's today's thought from the Reactionary Hippie. I'm going back to the Greeks. I'm saying they got something to teach us now, and I'm saying we can always learn something new. So go out, learn, produce, do your best. And my son is 2 today. I love it. Take care.